Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 5th episode of the Gupta series, in which, just before things escalate here, I feel this is the right time to, rank up by combat as I wish to become a veteran. Because my glory is low and I'm not going to get any better, so I thought, well, I should become a veteran just to add a bit of martial and some combat skill. If I win it, whoever I'm challenging. I arrange a meeting with some of the events organizers in order to challenge a member to increase my standing in the wheel of life and death. These duels do not usually lead to death, but they're nonetheless dangerous. A fighter with enough prestige and glory to his name could try to leverage it to avoid a duel. I'm only asking for a duel. Anag Paul has accepted a duel. It is not like he has any choices to begin with. Should I be victorious, and will take his rank in the wheel of life and death. But if I find defeat, I will taste shame and humiliation. Wait, a drunk. But he's a respected commander and he's a novice fighter. Oh, he's delegate too. So I see. Although slightly evenly matched, but if I wasn't so stressed, then this wouldn't be a problem. But again, this is not to the death. This is to get up to the score of 5. Score 5 hits or whatever, then you will win. I'll attempt to feint. Got him. He does a lunge attack. Dodge. Oh, he stunned me and struck me again. Lunge. It's even. Lunge. Lunge. Good match. The referee stopped the fight and declared me as a victor. I can now be considered a veteran. All my defeated foe will be shamed and will be considered to be of lowly novice rank. One step closer to greatness. My duel experience increases, as well as a bit of glory and prestige to the name. Despite the fact that I have been in past duels before. He's only bruised my dominant hand, which I'll live. But I also have a bruised head, so... Need a glory of 1,000 in order to raise a 1,500 men regiment, which is only useful during wartime. But that time has not come yet. And when you get up to 500 glory, you could hire warrior commanders or a warrior pilgrimage. But my glory gain isn't great because of my low education, which can be improved upon thanks to the war focus as well as the circumstances regarding this future conflict, which will come very, very soon. One thing's for certain. Despite the alliances I've made, we have failed to convince anybody to join the faction for Ramagupta for Bihar. Apparently not everybody's convinced. They like me, but however, they don't think highly of my father. That could change. So we have failed to form the alliance to restore the Gupta Kingdom, so we'll have to do it ourselves. But there is one thing. The Yuda Kingdom, which only has one daughter but no heir as of yet, but he's relatively young. Give him time. What say if I were to betroth? I mean, I'm not married, but this is just to have a non-aggression pact signed, and then we'll try to form an alliance. This is for the future, so they don't attack Bihar. Even though they do own parts of Bihar. But we'll aim to change that in the future. But remember the mission. Lead the men to battle. Despite the leprosy. And I look up there to our northern neighbor, Nepal, part of the Empire of Tibet, or Tubo, because of the Han culture he belongs to. Married, you dummy. Is sick, unlikely to have children. Yeah, I know. She has leprosy. Which, yeah, sorry. I'm sorry that this happened to my leper sister. But it's the best we got to offer. And plus, regarding the strength, we are about this strong, while the Pala is slightly more, though it could grow. And our commanders, as far as we know, hit auto assign. They're not the best, but it's the best what we got. What else? Yeah. I mean, have me somewhere in the flanks, and then the other two commanders, Chandra Narayan and Chandra Sen, who is my master for warfare, as he has a situational awareness and he has lightning reflexes. So, he's, as I said, he's my trainer, he's my master. Unless you want to think my father, Ramagupta, as my master, as he taught me philosophy and how to live a better life and all that. Even though he's a bit of a trickster himself, but you know, Sri Krishna did some of that too. But that's just a, you know, it's, again, sometimes you have to use a little bit of deceit to, you know, to stop something from getting anything's worse, you know. But again, Ramagupta is an enlightened man. But let me argue with you. What would your father say if he were to saw you dressed like this, instead of being the Maharaja of Bihar? This is your birthright to take it. But honestly, even though he would be happy that his son turned out to be an enlightened man, but at the same time, he would be disappointed to see that Ramagupta would retire from politics for the time being and not be the true successor. Which again, he died a long time ago. And one would think maybe Ramagupta would have dreams in his sleep. He would have dreams in his sleep where he would be thinking about him, tell him, why are you in your garb? You're not a Brahmin, you're a Kshatriya. You should be ruling the Gupta Kingdom. The Gupta Kingdom must be restored. And that is what this episode's all about. We failed to make any allies, but instead we will have to installation of claimant. I will present an ultimatum to Maharaja Gopala II of the Pala Kingdom, demanding the installation of Ramagupta the Wise on the throne of Bihar. If he refuses to comply, the faction will rise in revolt. This is going to be a rebellion. And one more thing that I am looking for. Any possible better commanders that aren't here. That aren't landed, I should say. Fortunately, the best ones are both here. Although I would be up against my friend who is the best commander of the Pala army. But he is my friend. And I never wished any ill will towards him. But should we fight in the duel, I will not kill you. In fact, I will even sway you to go as far. So that way we can meet in armistice or something. Because you are a man of peace. You've never killed anyone, nor have you ever gotten involved in duels, but you do have a military background. Courtier Tandranarian's also here. And this is another one that I'm gonna have to deal with. An aspiring duelist, this man. Another marshal. Again, this is the realm, locally. She's not one of the commanders, right? Doesn't have a certain trait to it. Just may want to look into that. No, just a courtier Rajkumari. Does have a claim to both Bihar and the Pala Kingdom. There's an adventurer, but however, martial skills kinda eh. But she has an adventure which, if used right, she could be potential commander, but she currently lives in the Bihar. Assistant in the Siren Gang. Even though I have a limited number of good commanders, and knowing I'm not going to have much talent, but what if I were to invite her over here? I mean, she's attracted to me, even though we're both ambitious, and she's a Buddhist. So again, I'm going to pay a bit of money, but you know, it took my prestige to convince my father to come over here. And we're going to need the money to, you know, to fund the army during this rebellion. So it would be good to bring Veena over here. Which again, it's like, again, she may be brown, but she's a Buddhist, but the adventurer trait allows her to be a commander. And if I were to make her a commander, at least one of some commanders, it would definitely help the rebellion. So I offer her prestige. All of my prestige. So, let's see. On my diplomacy stat, and plus, you know, being a socialized these days helps. Yes, it'll help. Invitee, she is not greedy, nor trusting, not even diligent. She is ambitious, though. She may come. And in the opinion of Liege, however, I am not sure, because she says that she'll be a loyal servant to him for life. And plus, that man is also attractive. It's going to be hard to convince, hard to please. But she doesn't have any of the negative traits, nor she is content. And not cheerful either, so it's a bit of a coin toss. If she doesn't come, oh well. It's just I'm looking for talent. That's all I gotta say. I'm looking for talent. But now, if you don't give my father Bihar, we will go to war against you. And you know what's gonna happen? I don't know why I would want to give it to my sister, but in this Bihar war, like now, like this is what the war is going to be basically. It's to claim that Ramagupta, my father, the enlightened wise one, he will be given the kingdom and the Thikana of Mudkagiri, which is right next to Magadh proper. In other words, he's going to be residing over in this forest. Which unfortunately is a highway robber band, but it's a peaceful province. Makes sense. A peaceful area. Whereas over there in Magadh, it's restless. My father once told me that it's a hive of scum and villainy there, but can't say that I blame him. And I must lead in a battle. Even though I'm stressed, so this may be a bit of a handicap, but I hope that in some battle events that'll be coming up that I will improve my martial education. And then we hope to set up an alliance with the Ayuda Kingdom. Now, what say you? Most loyal Raja of Rajaganesha, I fully endorse serving an ultimatum to the usurper, Gopala. It is time for the Maharaja to see justice, and your part in that shall not be forgotten by many. Good luck. Remember that I said, what would your father say if he saw you like this? I guess he finally convinced you. It's showtime. So we receive an ultimatum. If it's a peaceful transition, then good, I did my part. And I'll definitely serve as a commander of the new Gupta Kingdom. If not, then there will be war. Which is going to be all over the place. Your shameful attempt at blackmail has not succeeded. No matter how many corrupted souls you have enticed to help carry out your plan, I will not give in without a fight. I'd rather die defending what is rightfully mine. Signed, Maharaja Gopala II of the Pala Kingdom. Guess the regent wrote it for you. Actually, he could. But still curious. Of course, you realize this means war. So the rebellion starts here in Mithila. It was a serene province, but now this is where the revolution begins. We're not separatists. We're here to restore the Gupta Kingdom. One sec. If I fall, he becomes the new heir to the revolt. Even though I would like to say that he is like the co-leader of the revolt, whereas I'm the one who is in charge of military matters. My father is simply the chancellor. Which, matter of fact, Sukhdev trying to sabotage the capital of the province. At least we can get a good idea of where their armies are at. We strike first towards Magadh. I'll lead the charge. Chandranayan, which he has some combat experience. And again, another veteran. He'll be there too. So we'll be on our way. We will strike first at Magadh towards the jungles. We'll use our numbers against them. They're going to be in for a surprise. And we got new commanders, now that there's room. There used to be 4, but now it's 6, because this is a kingdom tier titled rebellion. You know what? This is just for honorary reasons. You'll be a commander as well, but you have extremely low combat skill, but if you get into a duel with anyone, well, then again, he's a chancellor, so he's not going to get involved in front line. Well, if he gets this whole kingdom and this title, would that mean... will Magadh go? Oh, I can't know for certain. That costs money to fabricate. Perhaps he should just perform statecraft, or improve relations with, you know, those vassals who will eventually work for us. Well, for you first, and then me. So we'll go across the Ganga, and we will strike them in Magadh, which they've used their levies, but the garrison's full. Let's do it. I've received him at the door and help him inside. He looks around a large room, giving me the proving nod of the size of the banquet. Oh yes, I invited him to a banquet. Even though he's probably not aware that the rebellion has just begun. Like he would be passing by through Magadan, and he saw a few troops raising there thinking, oh, they're just drilling. And then go across the Ganga, then he's come to here and probably saw an army moving this way. And they were like, where are they going? And is that Rajaganesha? What is this? Then I'm like, hey, we got no time, right? You're not a commander. You're not involved in this war. So he's here in Lakshmanavati to scheme. Just invited him over here for a few days. Thank you for the betrothal. And it's not going to be until May in 2 years that we'll talk an alliance. If this war drags on. I have military reform, so our army moves fast. We'll be coming in with some light infantry, heavy infantry, light cavalry, and 20 elephants. And all these technology points here, we're saving them up for Magad, when this becomes the new capital of the Gupta Kingdom. But remember, they're close to being 2,000 strong, but take out this chunk here, then that'll do us good. So it'll be even. There's no commander over here. This war, this opportunity to prove my mental combat has opened my eyes to my true potential as a warrior. My personal combat skills are improving. May Shiva guide my heart, hand, and steel. So I begin my advancement to personal combat skills. Several hours passes, and Govinda Chandra seems to enjoy himself. Maybe he would enjoy himself even more if we managed to find him some company for now. Well, I did invite him to the banquet, and then my friend, he's no longer a commander. He's a marshal now. Actually, no. He's leading the troops. So technically he is marshal, but if they told him not to do any marshal-related assignments, he's automatically a commander. You're already lustful, you know? But if I try to be lustful, my father would chastise me for it. It says, you must learn to, you know, abstain from the excesses of the flesh. He would tell me that with spiritual guidance, but for karma and learning, or less karma and for intrigue. Oh, it's even, you know. Let us just wait, no, because if I get rid of stress, and whenever my training is complete, that would be 11. And you know 12 is a requirement to give it another attempt to organize a smuggler operation. Well, I will help him find someone. I decided to try to help the Nirgrantha to find someone to spend a night with. It is with great honor that I receive your invitation. I am pleased to inform that I stand ready to move your court. Really? Looking forward to serve you up to the best of my capabilities. For my success in your mostly august glory. Vina. Yeah, I had to spend my prestige for this. And of the travel expenses. Is it possible that she could be a commander or no? Because of her adventure trait. I'm just curious. I guess it only happens when it says, you know, servant and all that. But I don't see Vina here. No. Wasting my prestige for nothing, which it can be gained during battles. So, don't worry about it. Reinforcements have arrived. We'll form together into one army now. Follow his advice. They're gone. To Rajaganesha, I heard that you were going to lead an army in person. I didn't think you had the guts. I'm a bit scared that you survived and are getting stronger. May we not meet in duel. The strong never rests, so I continue to improve my fighting skill. And more glory and prestige for me. Still on the path. Now all we need is 500 more. If the war drags on, if it gets tougher, then we'll receive reinforcements. Thanks to his connections, Ramagupta, my chancellor and father, and our child, master, teacher, he came to me recently with an idea to reinforce our troops with foreign recruits. The plan is to send an envoy asking help from his acquaintance, Sivakara Deva Baumakara, and check what he's going to ask to help us. He's the Raja of Tosali. By the way, you're the one that took on Kalinga. My mother's alright, is she? She's a legal tutor. You know, I should have invited her. Maybe next time. Whenever I get more prestige. So, I'll go ahead with the plan. We need all the help we can get. Again, father's got connections. I thought he quit politics, but I'm glad he didn't. But now we're trying to give him his throne back. He's a rightful heir. I wake up half-dressed and clothes strewn everywhere with a woman sleeping beside me. I see Govinda Chandra with a grin on his face lying on the floor with a woman on top of him. Oh, he's already lost all soul. He approves it. Hopefully he had fun. All present and accounted for. Just want to make sure one more time. Okay. But remember, as long as he's doing Chancellor duties, he cannot be in the front line, because it would be ashamed if he were to get killed in combat. Their movement hasn't locked yet. We'll engage him in the forest. Don't take Patliputra yet, so... Okay, pick the flank that I should lead. I think I will lead the center. No, Chandra Narayan will be on the left, and Chandra Sen will be on the right, because of the elephants there. Even though most of the cavalry goes to me. And there's a possibility that we may get a few foreign recruits that my father's trying to recruit. So don't besiege Patliputra yet. We'll engage my friend, the Nigranta. Even though we're having quite a bit of a good time together. As two good friends should. They'll have the forest advantage, which is advantage for the infantry, but not so good for our cavalry nor the elephants. Not to mention that Are there any sub-commanders that are with me? The one-eyed fella. And he's slow, so stick with me. Alright? We may get foreign recruits from Tosali. I'm not afraid. More reinforcements will be heading this way. Is the regent with them? No. He's gonna do Regency things, whereas the best commander, which is him, my friend. But if I best you in a duel, well then good, but I have no intentions of killing you. Because we're just two good friends together. Movement locked. They're already here. What does the Nirgrantha have? Because I didn't see his... He doesn't have any leadership traits, but he's a far better general than I am. He's a master of tactics because he was formerly a military tutor serving the Indo-Greek. I received a letter from Govinda Chandra thanking me for the invitation to the banquet. Well, originally the Buddhists were supposed to come, but I see when you're in the middle of that little chain event, and if you start swaying somebody else, then you're going to help the opinion of this person instead of whoever you're swaying. And he's also the master of the royal elephants, which sounds intimidating. I'm sure we'll do this again sometime. I hope Chandra Sen doesn't find you, and he'll likely kill you. Because that man... as I said, he can draw his sword as fast as flash of lightning. Never seen anyone like that. The battle begin. Oh. Where do I now? And there's our second best commander. I've learned many lessons from this battle. Beside the application of theoretical tactics my mentors taught me as a boy, I've learned to deftly isolate an opponent in the thick of the front. Bring all my focus and concentration to bear upon them. And then, within but a few rounds of melee, swiftly execute them. I'm proud to clear my progression. Proud of my clear progression into a greater warrior. Still, I have more lessons to learn. Oh, failed advanced tactic. Not good on my part. I need help. And the Nirgrantha may be besting me. An expansionist emperor. Uh-oh. Meanwhile, yeah, I'm receiving assistance from my master, my trainer, Chandra Sen. We got him. Now I'm a respected commander after 2 victories. Yes, I'm becoming all familiar with this situation, as we took quite a bit of casualties, but it's going to take a lot more than that. So, take out a small army. Don't give them time to regroup. Rajkumari? What? Wait a minute. I found out the reason why. Why can I not put her as commander? She's a Brahmin. Despite Buddhist. Because you see, to be commander, Read here. Has to have Kshatriya, which is a religion that follows the caste system. Aha. So, in theory, Buddhist women who are serving under a Buddhist lord are allowed to serve in the army, but not to a Hindu. So she's out in combat because she's strong-willed. Not to mention Kshatriya Buddhist, but serves under him. Oh, this may sound like a stupid, reckless idea on my part, but... there's only 14 of them. And no, you can't disband. No. Stop. What if I were to lead this and try to catch her? Take her in prison. One thing's for certain though. Because, as I said, I have military reforms, I have faster global movement speed. And check the terrain. It's a warm autumn here in most of these areas, so it's good. Anyways, just head to Magadha. I'll be back with you. I'll try to do something stupid and try to chase down, capture the Rajkumari. If we capture her, maybe... I mean, I don't think we can recruit her, but again, main army's on a retreat. It would be more prestigious, one would think, that would capture and make her a concubine. Those staged war games and large-scale exercises, I feel confident I can master one of the main military disciplines. Well, as far as the military structure is concerned, most of them consist of heavy infantry, so heavy foot is key. No need for elephants, because we don't have enough of them. Well, actually, morale damage in general helps, but royal elephants will fight a little effective, despite the fact we don't have enough of them. But adding more morale damage is not just for the elephants part, but it's for all units in general, when you are leading as a commander of one of the flanks. So, none can stand against elephants. Use that instead. I mean, sure, the heavy foot troops could fight more effectively, but if we could just have morale damage in general and stack it up with the defense, we could put a lot of hurt on them. Interesting offer. My dear Chancellor, father has returned from his meeting with Shivakaradeva Makara with a proposal to receive a host of soldiers. We will need to cede full trade rights in our capital to the foreign power, losing a significant portion of our local income for 20 years. How much? It's for 20 years. We won't get much tax, but that's only in a capital. But that could change when, you know, the restoration of the Gupta Kingdom. Alright, I'll take it. Not gonna like it. We received new reinforcements. Right, for the war effort. Link up with the rest. I'll catch her. Well, we can. Oh, actually, no. Probably assigned to another army. Well, I brought her here for nothing. But May still has its uses, so no, don't do it. Plus, winning more battles improves my combat skill and as a commander in general. Also, what do you guys mainly consist of? Mostly light infantry, mostly archers, and some heavy infantry. We don't have enough archers, so you're more than welcome. We're just here to eliminate this one. Because I'm such a glory seeker. I will remember this battle in its finest detail until the end of my days. The Lord guided my sword into the hearts of a countless number of my foes, raising cheers and battle cries from my surrounding men as I cut a path through the enemy. My mastery of personal combat has come a long way. Apparently, I'm not the only one to think so. Now I am renowned as a skilled fighter. Adds a bit more health, thus cancelling out the stress. Despite the fact that I was coming to combat many times with a bruised head from an earlier duel. $79 now. Now it does not say anything that I should become a formidable fighter. I guess that'll have to come naturally, or receive more military training. Link back. Reunite with the rest of the forces. We'll soon take on the Palas again. Let's try to siege Patliputra for now. But again, training continues still, as Chandra Sen is still alive. Yeah, that's the way it was earlier. Except you're over there and he's there. While I am much improved. And when you become Maharaj, I wonder what service that I will do under you. But another big battle ahead. Especially that I'll be up against the man I befriended. 8 days. Oh, by the way, since I picked up that lustful trait, I don't recall losing any. I remember I was a bit short. Stress doesn't count because that's health related. We'll fight them in the forest again. But this time we'll be reinforced by these foreign recruits that we brought from Tosali. Besides Govinda Chandra, who else is with him? Raghudev and Dada Devi, Rajkumari, Rameshwar, who is a former peasant leader, quick-minded, trained fighter. Yes, they have formidable commanders, but I ain't afraid. And I hope I'll get to sway the Nigrantha, so that way we can have a bit of a pre-battle talk, but I guess that chance won't happen. I don't mind. Sukhdev is a bit of a nut. Stop, stop! Let him come to us. We'll have more advantage when we have the jungle, because better for light infantry and heavy infantry, and the pikemen and the archers. We gotta trick them into coming here. Nope. They're not going. They're not falling for it. We're going in after them. Unrelated conflict. Wait a minute. No, remember the Brahmin thing. Sometimes I wish I was a Buddhist, but Father would be mad at me. Let's see who's there in the flanks this time. And there, Granta in the center, Ragadev on the other. Behind Govindachandra is the sub-commander, Deda Devi. Even the Beku, another man named... My goodness. Women at war. Are the Palas really that desperate? We don't allow women to fight in our battles unless there is an emergency situation. But we outnumber them. Especially with new recruits of mostly light infantry and archers. Peasant revolt. This campaign's been easy pickings. Swinging my sword through the forest is a pleasure, and my fellow soldiers are equally jovial, surrounded by the blood of our Bengali enemies and the cries of battle. Look! Enemy commander Rajkumari Deda Devi is hiding, someone suddenly shouts, pointing off in the distance. It's her. But be careful. Even though my combat skills has improved, even though I'm no longer bruised in the head, but I'm still stressed. But, who knows? I'll get rid of the stress in the post-war years. And plus, she's young. Why did they put her in the service? Are they that desperate? But I'll do the commander myself. Swinging my weapon wildly when suddenly the Rajkumari shrieks in pain. Dropping my silver-hilted scimitar, I'm stuck at the mess I have made. Seems to have tear a severe gash across her hand. Well, she is a Pala, but don't you know that legendary bloodline of theirs? From its founder? You know who her grandfather was? She's strong-willed, but I'll give her credit. I don't want to kill her. Because, you know, that's just Adam and Achilles, but... I just would want to injure her, but if I capture her, good. Then maybe I could do something with her. She's a Kshatriya after all. So I'll walk away victorious as I tear the gash across her hand. See the blood on the face. That was my first battlefield duel. See, like, there's no need to waste our lives for this one, so just try to besiege Maga. Just take at least one holding, because you can't win this war until you at least occupy one of the territories. Oh, a couple of more just been raised. It's only about a few. Don't mind the peasant revolt, ignore that. But keep winning battles and you'll be a respected commander. That's what you need to do. I have received letters from the Rajkumari expressing a professional respect for besting her in combat. The woman is surprisingly easy to talk about other things too. Concerned that a part of me still remembers fighting for my life against her. at the Battle of Mugadi, Mudgagiri. Get used to it. To think that war could bring friendship. I mean, yes, I beat the heck out of her, but she's strong, so she'll live. And doesn't like her liege, because, you know, title claimant. Interesting to think. It's not the first time that I fought against a woman before. Even though someone had bounties in their heads, but this is for a totally different reason. We'll speed it up in a bit. Peasants in Kusinagara complain about the conditions brought about by the present state of war. As I need to keep the big picture in consideration, they talk about the suffering of their community and disclose both their restlessness about the present situation as well as concerns about the future. There's a local cost in Kusinagara in the present war. It's a volatile area. And China is experiencing a civil war. Yes, we must occupy Patliputra right now. Reason for that is, some of that is loot that we could try to take just to keep the war going. In fact, it's going to take a lot less. Again, there's no standing structures. The city's been beaten up enough. And then after we fully occupied Mugad, Mudgagiri will be next. How long you want to keep this up, man? Let's take Patliputra now. Also, upon further reading, I found out, oh yes, women who are Buddhists are allowed to serve under a Buddhist liege regardless of caste, because Buddhism is also a feminist religion. Hinduism doesn't allow it, and neither does Jainism. Makes them unique when you think about it. All we need to do is just get this area fast. Because my friend in Nigranta is still out there. Shankaragana of Kalachuri Raj. No, don't. Doesn't concern me because we'll be under the rule of my father, the Gupta. Going to Mithila. Don't cross the Ganga because that'll be a major river crossing, but take the other river crossing that's less of a penalty. But at least we'll be reinforced while we're in here. My training is over. Will I either be patient or brave? I shall be brave. Good. And that got rid of my ambitious trait, which is bad, because it makes you good all around. The world will not weigh me down anymore. I have a new spring in my step, joy in my heart, and a smile on my face. Life isn't too bad. No longer stressed. Ready to take on the day. Is there anybody in the bounty board? Oh, of course not, because this is here. You don't control that land anymore. You're not part of the land anymore. So it'll be hard to find it. We'll take a minor river crossing instead of a major one through the Ganges. Of course, he's getting away. Wish one of us was an organizer. despite my military reforms, weren't able to go fast enough. I'm starting to think Vita might fancy me. Oh, ever since I brought you here, I mean, you're attractive, but I can't make you commander because I'm not a Buddhist, and you are a Brahmin, not Kshatriya. But you know, Father wouldn't like me if I was lustful, because he would, look, even if I were to do that, even though I have no children of my own, listen, that lustful trait's still going to be rid of by my father at his behest. Despite now being his opponent at war, I still feel I could try reaching out to the new Grantha in some way. This is a reason why I want to sway him. If we fight, let us fight honorably. Propose that he will agree to never use underhanded tactics during the war. I was happy to hear that he and I are of one mind on this issue. We both refrain from using underhanded tactics against each other during the war. Marvelous, because he could be a bit of a trickster sometimes, too, knowing you. So we received little reinforcements from here, as we're about to meet him in battle. Just don't kill my friend, okay? He's a good man. He's a giant. Captured somebody. Chandranarayan of Man. He's from Magad. Okay. Unfortunately, he doesn't have money, so he can't be ransomed. And what you got there? Apastamba Dharma Sutra. The Apastamba Dharma Sutra is a Sanskrit text and one of the oldest Dharma-related texts of Hinduism. It deals with many different matters, but extensively observes law, duties of a king, and family customs. This book isn't for you. You're a Buddhist. The Hindu, this is the kind of book that us of the Santana Dharma read. Yeah, he ain't gonna like that. Now head back to Magad. We need to occupy the rest of it. We'll be winning this war soon. If we can get it all. And of course, once this war ends, then I will make sure that I would have a position on the council under my father's rule. Plus, there's more loot in these places. Almost to 1,000 glory to raise an army. But I think we got this situation handled. So keep requests to military training so I can become a formidable fighter one day. I'm about to take this place. %70 war score. Things are looking up now. And I'll receive more training. Also, don't worry about this betrothal thing. This is just for a possible alliance before I will have a real marriage. It appears that my teacher's met with sudden death. What happened? He was about to train me. He's been assassinated. I guess I'll find someone else. There are sometimes things just don't go your way. And this was the last message he sent me. So my guts tell me he doesn't know anything what he's talking about because he's already dead. What did I tell you? We may have to engage him again. Wait for the movement to be locked. Go. Because the siege just started and we can get it. Hey, Chanjanarian, come over here. What were you doing? Going up against my friend again. My friend in the front line. And every time we make camp before the battle, I just eat my favorite food. You could say, what are the rations do you eat? Anything that's, you know, cinnamon flavored. Especially cinnamon toasted sticky buns. Which again, I know he's a commander, but he's never led in a front line because I just gave him as an honorary position. While I do all the fighting. Because I have something to prove. Lead my men to battle. You got it, because it's about to end. Already accomplished. Good timing. Now we need to take 2 more holdings. $23 old, still in the prime of my life. And I guess I don't need to switch back to carousing focus because the stress is gone. I was about to say, you're the new one. What happened to the old one? He was an old man, so I think he probably died a natural death. Which I hope that doesn't happen to my father. I mean, when he becomes Maharaj of Bihar, the Gupta Kingdom restored, let's hope that give him at least a year or 2 reign before I am ready to take on full responsibility of running an independent nation. What you got there? Ornate silverware set. A set of silverware that shows how elegant, fashionable, and snobby its owner is. I don't need that. Just give me the money. Plus, we can get the money through looting. 1 more holding to go. Rajaganesha, which was the ancient capital of Magad before Patliputra. Back in the old Vedic era. Oh, hey, Ragudev, I didn't know you were a member of the Wheel of Life and Death. Even though you serve on the other side, but... I guess there is some degree of, you know... I mean, we're all Bengalis, we're all brothers. Even though you're a Buddhist and I'm a Hindu. Since we got this amount of money, and knowing my diplomacy skill and me being a socializer, let's form an alliance with them. Not going to intervene on any of their wars. I'm just here to, to make sure that they do not attack the newly restored Gupta Kingdom. Days arrived for the diplomatic meeting with Maharaja Rahila of the Ayodhya Kingdom and his entourage. After the necessary pleasantries, we sit down and start the summit. My spies were unable to inform me on any particular weakness on the diplomatic group of Maharaja Rahila of the Ayodhya Kingdom. I'll probably do a friendly, intimate attitude like the last time, because I'm a socializer. Concerning him, his opinion of me is a little. He's not kind, nor he is cheerful. Difference of tier. Well, actually, since I'm Apollo Revolt, Kingdom tier, so we're the same tier. And the no reliances I have, that's another. Because I've had a hard time trying to making friends in attempt to form a alliance to restore the Gupta Kingdom, but that didn't turn out well. But we're just only forming an alliance just to say, oh, it's a degree of friendship between two colleagues. I know I am Maharaja in the future, but my father goes first. So let's just adopt a friendly attitude. And I know where I'm gonna get some of that loot coming from this Rajagriha. Allow me to send you a gift. Oh my god, I didn't think it would be that much. Okay, we'll just talk then. Could have swayed him before it, but I think we can come to an agreement. Here are some of that money. And that's the last time you were ever sending money to a foreign power. We'll hear their words sooner or later. My training is paying off and I've mastered a new level of combat skill. With enthusiasm, I look forward to what comes next. Remarkable. No longer have improved physical endurance, now I have hand-eye coordination. After training with dedication for so long, my mentor says I have reached my potential. I cannot progress further. Certainly I have improved somewhat. My potential fell short of the maximum, but I'll do fine. Additional to apply combat apprenticeship. You've taught me well, Chandrasen. As I said, you taught me of how religion works, and you've taught me how to be a good person. And Chandrasen over here taught me how to be a better fighter. And a few others I contribute to. Just gotta check his traits every time. That's the key of this. Look up his traits, and if it tells you about certain training because he has this, well then you gotta follow his advice because he has it. And if he doesn't, ignore it. I believe that's the way. It's one more territory to occupy. Negotiations went very well and soon became apparent a good deal could be made. I left the meeting in good spirits, looking forward to future collaboration with the Maharaja of the Ayodhya Kingdom. Wow, 16 years for an alliance? But I believe it should be temporary, so for political reasons I prefer a shorter compromise because, you see, she's young, and I'm sure there's a woman out there that I want to marry. So the alliance is just temporary. Okay? Even though you can intervene in my conflict whenever you want to, but we got this in the bag. Magadha is fully occupied. for convenience. Take Gaia. Oh, we're actually about to run into their army. I guess one more victory will do. Despite now being his opponent at war, I still feel I could try reaching out to him in some way. Let us meet under an armistice to discuss my reasons for fighting. Nigranta Govinda Chandra has decided to trust me and accept my offer and meet me during a momentary truce, even though they're in retreat. While it is unlikely that this meeting will result in a settlement of our dispute, it might help us to maintain a healthy relationship in spite of the war. I will make my reasons clear. Again, this isn't about you or your territories. This is about the restoration of the Gupta Kingdom. That is it. And with that, I've become a renowned commander. Martial plus 3 and some combat skill up and a bit of attraction opinion. Proud of my military service. Excuse me. So I guess this war will not be over before Diwali. It's just gonna be over next year. But I still need the training to improve my combat skills before I advance. Not brave, but I'll take it because I already have the brave trait. I don't know if that works or not. To accept at least one advice. $95%. Yeah, we need to occupy more. You're not content? War's almost over. All we need to do now is just occupy at least 3 more holdings. Or 2. Because we're 95 war score. I don't know how long my father's got to live. But all of Bihar will join. We mean Gaya and Rajrapa. Basically, yes, Gaya and Jharkhand areas will join up. What am I going to do with a favor? But put her in irons. Just need to get money off of her. No need to steal artifacts. %, so occupy 1 more holding, this city here, and then the war is won. They're not going to take Patliputra up there. But my training continues. My training is over now. So will I be ambitious again? Or replace tough soldier with skilled tactician, which would be big beneficial. Or improve fighting skills. I've become a skilled tactician, so it went from +3 martial to +6. And also +1 intrigue and stewardship. As well as personal combat skill. Oh, this will be easier now, because they botched it. Okay, stop. Stop the war. It'll be on this very day, March 30th of 795. 2 years and 7 months. Ramagupta will take his rightful place in the old Gupta throne. We have avenged grandfather because he was defeated, assumingly died in battle when the invaders came from the west and they took it over as part of the empire of Calcutta before driven out to where they once came. And then the Palas came here. And they've been occupying Magad as it had switched ownerships a few times. So now Magad as well as the rest of Bihar will be back under the control of my father, Rajkumar Ramagupta, the Wise. Yes, he has saw enlightenment when he was during his final months of meditating before he abdicated the throne. And now I brought him back for this particular reason. And thanks to his political connections that we were able to get friendly reinforcements from another country, from Tosali, which we're grateful for their help. I don't know if we would have prevailed. We may have, but it would have been, I think the war would have taken a year longer at least to get it all. Even though as of late the Vedic influence had been waning here, but now it has returned. As I said, now to continue this line of succession. Maybe Javed says it was his destiny for him to become the Maharaj of the Gupta Kingdom, which will now be restored under him. So I'm very happy to know that. So for him at 75, and I don't think he's got many more years left in him, and then I'll have to succeed him as the next Maharaj, which, again, you could say I'm not ready for that kind of responsibility in my 20s, but I had to fight to prove myself to be an effective warrior, and I have so. Because to be a ruler, you got to prove yourself to be a warrior. But for him, my father to take his place on the throne is more symbolic than anything else. And so, let's make this official. He will gain the Dekana of Mudgagiri, as well as the kingdom of Bihar. But how much of Bihar is the real question? He's usurped the kingdom title of Bihar. In other words, the Gupta Kingdom has been restored. Matter of fact, this is the Gupta Kingdom, which includes the Raj of Tirubukti, Jharkhand, and even Gaya. Yes, a kingdom where Hindus, Buddhists, and Jains live together. And yes, my friend, you serve under your new liege. Oh, is it safe to disband armies here now? Yes. And event spawn troops has to go away as well. Very happy to know that. Very, very happy. Yes. So here it is. That my father is now Maharaja. Even though he's wearing that old turban that he used to wear when he was Raj, but that could change. In fact, let me send you some money for your upcoming coronation ceremony. Give me at least 200 gold, so you can all have all the pleasantries that you'll need. And I will soon be proud to serve under you, under the Gupta army. An army that bears our dynasty's name. And whatever position on the council he'll give me, I'll take it. I'll be happy to take it. There. Your army's gone now. Yes? Dear son, peace be with you. I would like to give you the seat on my council, and therefore offer you the title of Chancellor. You were my Chancellor, now in return. You got it, because this will give me 1 diplomacy. You got it, father. Now I'm gonna have to appoint a new Chancellor for myself. You know, not as well skilled, but it'll do for now. So now I'm the Chancellor of the Gupta Kingdom. Of course, my training will continue. And I'll soon go on a warrior pilgrimage soon afterward. There's no bounties around here. But I feel I'm good enough to try to rank up towards Pretender. I don't even know what the next ambition's gonna be. Probably just build up a war chest to try to make a bit of money. Don't extort. And when is your coronation ceremony, father? Because you've just been crowned. And you want to take on a rulership focus. Because, you know, if you don't get yourself coordinated, there's bound to be problems. Lords of Bihar instituted low feudal obligations law. Okay. Dear son, may you live in harmony and contentment. Decided to offer you a position of commander. Do you accept? Yes, I will serve the Gupta army. Because I'm a renowned commander after this rebellion. Made one of the mayors, which is in fact my rival, to become a Hindu. Should I try it? Be a pretender? Oh, he's a tough customer. Lunge. Quick. Missed that one. He swings his weapon. Dodge. Got him. Getting better at this sort of thing. Your Grace, I am pleased to invite you to my forthcoming coronation at Magad. There I'll be officially crowned as Maharaja of the Gupta Kingdom in sight of Brahma, and your presence will be most welcome. So, I guess what you were doing is you're just trying to get used to it, which, again, your Rangers started March 3rd, and it took you, about more than a month to, get everything, set up, with your council and everything. I understand. And you got a concubine for yourself, even though you're still bound by celibacy. Silver tongue, muscle. If you don't mind, father, but you think I should... No, I can't marry her. I would. So I can break off this patrol. But that's only a necessity, because it's for the duration of this alliance. Didn't know my head was bruised. Must have been adrenaline. But again, most of the strength comes through me. So again, he invites me to this coronation ceremony. I will gladly attend. happy to be in Magad and serving under the Gupta army. We shall see. We're gonna end the episode on that note. Hopefully. With no disturbance from the others. Of course, still have to take up my training. The Gupta Coordination. I, Ramagupta of the Gupta dynasty, and with the blessing of Shiva, do I hereby rightfully assume the crown of the Gupta Kingdom. With those words does he become Maharaja of the Gupta Kingdom in truth, with each of his vassals lining up to bow before him and swear everlasting fealty. It is an impressive ceremony, led by and full of pomp and circumstance, one that will write Maharaja Ramagupta in the history. The streets of Magad are lined with Bengali crowds cheering, with everyone straining to get a look at the important personages that pass by on their way to the forthcoming feast. Long live Maharaja Ramagupta. Maharaj Ramagupta ki Jai! Maharaj Ramagupta ki Jai! Maharaj Ramagupta ki Jai! That's in Hindi language. I don't know what it is in Bengali, but I know Hindi. For this in context. A courtiers brought forward a message telling me that Maharaja Ramagupta sent emissary to Sarampur who successfully managed to persuade the populace to embrace the Hindu faith. I see. With the coronation ceremony finished, the newly anointed Maharaja Ramagupta retired to his castle for a celebration feast. The hall is packed with people, lords and ladies of the Gupta Kingdom, their wives and husbands, visiting Hindu rulers and emissaries. It will be a night to remember. This will be quite a celebration. Kusinagara also converted to the Hindu faith. And so did Mithila. Where else? Why did you declare war against the Chediraj? We know it's part of Bengal, but that's gonna be, you know, a strange look at the borders. But what about the feast? I mean, I'll be willing to serve the army, but the feast, Father. The coordination feast. Because you started that one. Sadly, the outbreak of the war, the Gupta Kingdom means coordination festivities will have to be cancelled. My apologies for the inconvenience. You started this, Father. But who am I to question? I helped you to put you in that throne. And I will serve in this national army with pride. We'll just get the army together, then we'll begin the march to the Chediraj. You know, it's part of the small lands of Gondwana. So they'll be on the way. So yes, I am leading the army. Father is not. So he'll do alright. Thought we were going to have fun with the festivities, and you brought another concubine. Can I have her? Because I think I found the right girl to marry. I think you might have brought her in during a coordination feast where everybody came here, and some of the Bengali women there. Who else are the commanders besides myself? Govinda Chandra is the marshal. The Beku is commander and spy master. The mayor, who is my rival, is also commander. Who's that man? Ah, thank you. But again, he might die during this subjugation war, which I am in no business of getting involved here. Which again, he was helping out their ally. But the Chetiraj forces are over there, but we're not engaging them. Or I'm here. I'm heading towards here. I don't want to go on a warrior pilgrimage because that would be leaving the commander position. And please let me finish my training. So we'll begin that siege here, which I don't think Patliputra can defend itself, especially with father there. Yeah, he only converted these northern provinces here to Hinduism. Okay, now they got the message. Actually, we're going to end this episode on the month of January at the beginning. We'll just see how long will he last, because I know one thing's for certain in the next episode, that I will begin my reign as Maharaja, as I'm its successor. There's no need to take the throne from my father, who's gone into hiding. Oh dear. Vengit Chalukya Raj, are they allies? Yes. But I can join the war, but I don't want to interfere. But if he gets himself captured, well then I could just say, yes, it was embarrassing for you, but at least you'll still live. Just don't follow the same fate as the ancestors. But I'll do what I can to take all these areas, which there's not much holdings to begin with. And so we're actually going to end the episode on that note. Patliputra is under siege, while I'm serving as the commander of this army. But even though most of my forces come from the lands that I live in, but I fear that it could get ugly. But there is a possibility that they may capture him, and thus he loses that subjugation war, and that's his only chance. And hopefully it doesn't come down to a similar fate like the Pala. But don't worry, I'll be Maharaj and I'll think reasonable. And now I serve as a regent while he goes into hiding. Great. Well, we'll leave you with that on that note, ladies and gentlemen. We hope you join us in the next episode of Gupta. But until then, so long for now.